ESPN dropped a brand new 2026 mock draft, and surprise, surprise, we don't have a first-round pick for the Atlanta Falcons. That is now courtesy of the Los Angeles Rams, but I still think it's important to talk about because I want to mention what the Rams are going to do with that pick, according to ESPN, and then go over what CBS Sports said the Atlanta Falcons are going to do when they get to their second-round pick. Welcome in, Falcons fans, to Falcons Today by Chat Sports. My name is Moose. Like I said, just a quick little brief reminder. The Falcons do not have a first-round pick. I wish they did, but James Pearce Jr. is proving to be very, very effective. So I'm not really overly concerned about it. After you traded up for JPJ, there was a lot of Falcons fans that were like, this better hit, otherwise it's a waste of a first-round pick. Well, newsflash, that's how every pick in the NFL works. But I do think that JPJ is hitting on all cylinders. 5 straight games with a sack. The dude is climbing up the leaderboards of some of the best rookie talent in the NFL, and it doesn't even stop there. Did you know, if you go back to some of the elite edge rushers in the NFL, probably the 3 most elite, TJ Watts, Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, this is their rookie year sack total, 777. And James Pearce Jr. has 6. Oh, yeah, and by the way, still has 4 games left. I think he could hit 8 sacks this year. I'm thinking this guy's going to be an absolute stud for the remainder of his career, barring any injuries, knock on wood. So let's talk about, though, what ESPN did. Like I said, they came out with an entire first-round mock draft. And, of course, the Atlanta Falcons sent their pick to the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams now currently have the 9th overall pick in the 2026 draft. And I think it's interesting that the Atlanta Falcons kind of are dodging a little bit of a bullet here. And I'll tell you why. With the 9th overall pick in the 2026 NFL draft, ESPN has the Rams selecting Caleb Downs from Ohio State. Whoa, isn't he one of the best defensive players in the country? Yes, he is. But he's also a safety. We'll touch on that here in just a second. Here's what ESPN says about Caleb Downs going to the Rams. The Rams are in a rare territory as a strong Super Bowl contender with a potential top 10 pick in April, thanks to the Falcons. While they have the option to make another move with the pick, they could use it here on one of the best safety prospects in recent memory. Gotta love it. Downs is a versatile, tone-setting defender who has the chance to be the first safety pick in the top 10 since Jamal Adams went number 6 with the Jets and 7, blah, 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 blah. Great stuff. Here's what we know. The Falcons don't need a safety. Jessie Bates, Xavier Watts, I'm good, bro. I'm fine with that. And also, it looks even smarter now because you could essentially say that the pick that you used on James Pearce Jr. is looking like even more of a home run based off of that mock projection. Now, obviously, we don't know that Caleb Downs is going to go to the Rams, but I can tell you this. With 17 tackles, 6 for loss, 6 sacks, 11 quarterback hits, and a pressure percentage of 65.6, James Pearce Jr. is a dog. I'm not worried about this development of this player whatsoever. And did you know also, by the way, that the rookie defensive player of the year odds actually have the Atlanta Falcons getting the award? Jalon Walker leads all rookies by a wide margin. James Pearce Jr. falls at number 6. Now, I do believe a lot of that is because he had a much slower start to the 2025 season than Jalon Walker did. And also, Jalon Walker is the more versatile player. Walker is a better player against the run. He's better at dropping back into pass coverage, although at the end of their career, I do think that James Pearce Jr. will most likely have more sacks than Jalon Walker does. But Walker is a more well-rounded player. James Pearce Jr. is just an elite pass rushing talent. So if you're upset about the Falcons not having a first-round pick, I don't blame you, but I also think that you need to expand your mind a little bit because it's not the worst thing ever. But if you are upset about the Falcons not having a first-round pick, type Y for yes or type N for no down in the comment section. If you're watching during our live show right now, get down in the live chat and let me know if you're upset about not having a first-round pick. Now, coming up next, I'm going to talk about what the CBS Sports people have the Falcons selecting from their second pick, which currently number 43 overall. Before I do that, got to tell you about our friends over at Harry's. Look, I just shaved like 2 days ago. I've already got 9 p.m. shadow. I think I'm going to make a new term. I'm the hairiest guy you know. But trust me when I say this, as the hairiest guy and that shaves all the time, I trust Harry's with my personal grooming habits. There is not a single bottle in my house right now that is not labeled with the Harry's logo because it really is that amazing. And let's be completely honest, if your old razor dulled way too quickly, if it irritated your neck, and if it just cost way too much, $30 for 8 refills, total scam. That's where Harry's Plus has you covered. An advanced pivoting system to reach every corner of your face with refined blade technology for a closer, smoother shave and a weighted metal handle for added control and comfort. With Harry's Plus, you get a barbershop quality shave with German engineered blades. Why would you pay that $30 for refills when Harry's gives you better blades for a fraction of the cost? They launched their most advanced razor ever, and it's still cheaper than the Gillette Fusion 5. For a limited time, our listeners can get the Harry's Plus trial set for only $10 at harrys.com/code chat. That's a set including the all-new Harry's Plus razor, 1 5-blade cartridge, a 2-ounce foaming shave gel, and a travel cover to protect your blades on the go. Just head on over to harrys.com/chat to claim this offer, and after you purchase, they're going to say, hey, where'd you hear about us? Please support Falcons Today and let them know that Moosey Goosey sent you on over. All of that's in the comments and description of today's video. So CBS Sports also dropped their mock as well. It's kind of funny because direct competition, once ESPN does it, CBS Sports is like, we made one too. And The Athletic and PFF, they're all coming out with their very first one. So CBS dropped theirs at the exact same time. And with the 42nd pick, I was wrong, it's the 42nd pick, CBS Sports has the Atlanta Falcons selecting D'Angelo Pons, cornerback from the University of Indiana. Okay, position of need, check. Player? Not entirely sure yet. Here's what CBS Sports said about the pick. Atlanta has a young defense, and that only is exacerbated by the selection of Pons, who held his own, against a bigger Jeremiah Smith in the Big Ten championship game. Kind of a weak excerpt, if you ask me. That's 2 sentences that they add? Either way, I digress. Here's where I draw the line a little bit. Pons is only 5'9", 173 pounds. He's got good identification of route concepts and depth awareness, so he doesn't really get beat over the top, which is always a very big plus if you're a corner. And he's got high upside as a special teams player as well. That's what all of the draft areas and draft websites are saying. But I'm not going to lie to you. I don't love this pick. I don't want to take a player that is my size, height-wise, and that I weigh 15 pounds more than. I'm 193. I'm 5'9". Guys, I weigh more than this guy. Look at me. Yeah, not really. Exactly. Now, granted, size doesn't mean everything, giggity, but I will say this. At the cornerback position, I want you to be at least 5'11". Be as close to 6 foot as possible. And that hasn't stopped him from having a productive season at Indiana. They're one of the best teams in college football. 47 tackles, 8 PBUs, 1 INT with a coverage grade that's excellent, 85.7. But remember, the talent that he's going up against is not the most elite. And believe it or not, he's got a very stark comparison to a player that I covered last draft process, Max Harrison from Buffalo. He went to the University of Kentucky, Alper's alma mater. But Maxwell Harrison had the exact same style of play. Excellent in zone coverage. Never gets beat over the top. Twitchy athlete. Super fast. Blazing speed. Remember when he ran that 4.20? It was gorgeous. But he's too small. How do I know this? He got injured in training camp. Well, Moose, injuries happen all the time. How does that make him an injury-prone player? If you're 183 pounds like he is, you're frail. You're going up against wide receivers that are 200 plus frequently. Hairston injured his LCL and missed 6 games this year. I don't want to waste a second-round pick, specifically now that we don't have a first-rounder, on a player that's even lighter and smaller than Maxwell Hairston. Hairston's 5'10", $183. Pons is 5'9", 173. He's an inch shorter and 10 pounds lighter. Like, let's be so for real about this. If a player looks like me going out there, I've got issue with that. Now, maybe that's just me. I'm not trying to discredit the guy's skill because obviously if you're 5'9", 173 pounds, and you're projected to go in the second round, you've obviously got some talent. There's no doubt about it. But I also know that the small player experiment has really only worked for Devontae Smith, unless you're a running back. Then it's different. But for the skill positions, wide receiver, cornerback, you want bigger, thicker guys. God, pause. No diddy. All I'm saying is that I would probably look elsewhere other than D'Angelo Pons. But if you feel differently than I do, let me know if you would draft him. If you would, type D for draft. If you would pass on him, type P for pass. That's all I got for you today on today's episode. A reminder to hit that subscribe button, like today's video if you haven't done so already. And as always, Falcons fans, rise up and be cool.